The Sublime Beauty of Salvation. Devotional Thoughts for Women by Marianne M. Grutner. God is a lover of the beautiful, and above all that is outwardly attractive, He loves beauty of character. He would have us cultivate purity and simplicity, the quiet graces of the flowers.
Good morning, dear friends. Today, April the 5th, our devotional is entitled Turning Misfortune into Music. Our scripture reading is from 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 23. Whenever the Spirit from God was upon Saul, that David would take a harp and play it with his hand, then Saul would become refreshed and well, and the distressing spirit would depart from him. Her back bent, her crooked fingers aged with calluses, her hair white and disheveled, a keyboard on the sidewalk, and music that enraptures the soul. Who is this concert pianist? Natalie Trailing was an octogenarian virtuoso pianist who played on the streets of Melbourne for years. Her music was a melancholic feel much like her life. Natalie learned to play piano in elementary school. She only studied music until she was 17 years old. With no resources, she turned down a scholarship from the Royal Academy of Music in London and began teaching piano. At the age of 20, she joined an itinerant musical group that performed around Australia. She soon met her husband, with whom she had 4 children. However, a series of losses shook her life. In 1967, her 6-year-old daughter, Karen, died in a car accident. In 1984, her husband filed for divorce. 2 years later, her 22-year-old daughter, Joanne, died of cystic fibrosis. Nathan, the son who had been a great soccer player and musician, became dependent on alcohol and drugs for 20 years. In order to begin their lives afresh, Nathan suggested they move to Melbourne in 1993. Natalie lived in a hotel and played in local council chambers, stores, and malls. After 9 months, she was evicted and spent the next 9 years on the streets and in boarding houses. Severe anemia caused her to be hospitalized for months. In 2004, she became known and started staying in a hotel. Her ex-husband suggested that she become a street musician and lent her money to buy a keyboard. She was happy to play her heart out in the streets. The Bible tells of a musician who composed poetry and hymns and played them on the harp. The book of Psalms contains his hymns of gratitude, praise, forgiveness, sadness, and anguish. David, before becoming king, was recommended to Saul, and every time the king was depressed, he played soft melodies that calmed him down. Surely you also face personal struggles and challenging moments. Like Natalie and King David, try turning these moments into beautiful works of art, inspiring the lives of those around you. Whenever the Spirit from God was upon Saul, that David would take a harp and play it with his hand. Then Saul would become refreshed and well, and the distressing spirit would depart from him. 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 23.